Welcome back to this tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to use VSCode as an editing tool for your daily programming, but in this case we are going to focus on Python. And if you happen to install the previous versions of Anaconda in my very first video on this YouTube channel, you should be able to have the VSCode. If you haven't done so, you can check on the first link. Otherwise, if you just want to learn how to use it and you are having VS Code in other platforms or you don't have it yet, then I recommend you go to the download page on your browser. I'm using Chrome for my case, and just type VS Code. It should take you the first link, the vscodestudio.com should be your first link. Click on that, go to downloads page. Depending on your machine, you can click on Windows and then select whether it's 64-bit or if you are working on Linux, you can expect to go and use the deb.extension. If you are working on Mac, this is your best shot to download and install VS Code. Otherwise, follow the prompt. It's very straightforward to install. It should take you not more than 5 minutes to install it. However, if you already have VS Code or you installed Anaconda, then I just want you to click on Launch on your Anaconda startup page. Click on Launch, and then it should open a VS Code. Let us give it time. So the first thing you should have is some screen like this. In my case, I'm using Mac, so it might be different. You have got the code, the top button with the code, file, edit, selection, view, go, run, terminal, Windows, and help. If you are on Windows, you should be able to see some 3 lines at the very top here that will give you the options of file, edit, all these options that you can see on my screen. So the first thing that I want us to learn is to, first of all, what is VS Code? So VS Code is a very lightweight code editor that allows you to edit codes in either language that you are using, unlike Jupyter that we learned, which is restricted to Python. VS Code allows you to write codes in JavaScript, in Java, Python, and is very, very super good if you are dealing with if you are writing codes and uploading them on GitHub. So that is why I saw it wise to introduce it, so that you have got introduction to this. So the first thing, when you open Jupyter, it will give you this startup page, and it's kind of a guide on what you need to do. But for our case, you might choose to follow it, but for this purpose of video, I want us to start first of all by navigating to a folder that you are working on. So if you are working on an already existing folder, which I believe you always do, you need to just go to File and then click Open Folder. It should give you an option to do so. So if you don't have it on your machine, it should allow you to open a new folder. In my case, I can use this one. So click Open, and then it gives me options. I'm gonna head over to Downloads on my computer. So I'm gonna go to Downloads. So that is the folder I'm working on, and then click Countries, which is an empty folder that I've just created for the purpose of this video, and then open it, and then it's gonna give us this blank template. So the first thing you want to do is learn the basic or the architecture of this VS Code to know what it entails. So at the very top here, we have got the Explorer, and this Explorer gives you option of what is inside. It's kind of the folder that you are working on. And then the next option that we do have, and this here, you can, so you can see this is the folder that you are working on, and it doesn't have got any file. If you want to create a new folder inside it, let's say I want to create a folder called Africa. Inside this folder, I just click on this and then write the name, and it will be created. And then I can open that folder, and then within this folder I can upload or create a new file. So I want to create another file inside the folder called Africa, and it's gonna be a Python file. So to create a file, you just click on the file and then create a new file here. And once you do that, it will ask you to the type of the file. In my case, it's you can either create a text file, Python file, Jupyter notebooks, but I want to create a Python file because we are programming in Python. And then once you do that, it has all created this file, but with the symbol here of Python already. integrated in that. So the next thing you do is just to save this file in your computer, just do Control S, and then it's gonna prompt you on where you want to save the file. So I'm gonna do intro, name the file, give it a name, intro to VS Code, and then I'm gonna store it inside the folder called Africa. So this is a Python file. So now we have got our file. So that is the first thing you want to do inside VS Code. The next thing that VS Code is interesting in that it allows you to work on the terminal. Terminal in your computer is, if you are already working in Linux or MacBook, you might have interacted with the terminal. But for those who haven't or aren't sure about what terminal is, this is an interface which allows you to interact directly with files and folders inside your computer, unlike going through the graphical user interface where you click buttons that are graphically interfaced. In terminal, you basically interact with computer resources, files, and directories directly without clicking on those links. And that makes it very, very fast as opposed to using interface. So think of it as anytime you do something on a computer or organizing files or doing something, you are already interacting with the terminal, but indirectly. So that is one crucial thing about VS Code. Unlike Jupyter Notebooks, VS Code allows you to write your code and also interact with the terminal. So to do that, go to the options again. You're going to find an option of having a terminal. So if you click terminal here, you can click new terminal and it's going to launch it down here. So this is going to be your terminal. So it takes time. Let's give it time to load. So depending with how fast your computer is, it should not take much time. It's only that mine is activating an existing Conda library or Conda environment, which is something I will explain in my subsequent videos. So now it has opened the terminal, and now we can interact with my computer here directly or with resources here directly. So terminal allows you to type basic commands and execute them or give the computer instructions directly without clicking buttons as you always used to. So for example, I can check which folder I'm working on by printing present working directory. You can see I'm in the folder called users, my name, downloads, and then country. So this is the folder which is here. And then I can also list any files that are present in the folder. So you can see there's another folder inside that called Africa. I can change my directory and get inside this folder called Africa by doing change directory cd, then type the name Africa, and normally just press tab on your computer. It's going to automatically complete it. So once I do that, now if I do present working directory, it will tell me that I'm inside a folder called Africa. I can go back to countries by doing cd and then just 2 dots, and that will take me back to the present, to the previous folder. So this is something that as you do write your codes here, it also allows you to do or interact with the terminal here. And everything you type here, unlike Jupyter Notebook, the output will be on the terminal. So that is something good about the terminal. You can also clear to make you have more space, or even type history to know the previous codes that you have executed. So these are some of the previous codes I've executed in my terminal. So let me clear them again. So that is to do with the terminal in VS Code. The next thing is this. Let me add something here. So we also have this option here. So we have the folder explorer or the file explorer, and then we have got this option, extension. So let's see what extension got. So extension allows you to add other plugins that will kind of enable your VS Code to, or optimize it for the operation. So if I add something like prettier. So this one makes your code to, it formats your code in such a way that normally you see, like when somebody's writing code, they have got different colors and everything in such line. So you can install this. This is an example, and to add an extension, you just click on it and then click on the install part of it. Let me try to install another one. Format Python. So you can add many extensions, but you don't need to worry about this, because whenever you install VS Code and you program in a new language, it will always prompt you to add extensions, and that is, it's very dead easy. You just click on it. So let me say I want to add this extension called Black Formatter. Then I just click install, and then it's going to install on my Windows, on my workspace here. So that is to do with the extensions. The next thing that I want us to look at is the search. So search allows you to look for files and folders by typing their name. And these ones, if you do like Africa, it's going to try to find any file named like that in my folder or in my file. And then of course, if you are typing something like, let me type a code here, print hello mass, then I can search whatever is inside this script and not the folders and directory by just clicking anywhere inside this space, and then Control F find, and then do Africa to see if there's any part called that, or let me say hello, and you can see it highlights this, telling me that there's a word called hello in my VS Code. So if you want to also increase the size of your fonts, you can easily do that, not necessarily increasing, but zooming in and out. For the purpose of this video, you can do Control on your keyboard and plus to increase the size, or equally do Control plus minus, Control and minus to reduce the size, like that. So remember, what I'm doing is just changing the size. It's just zooming in and out, but not actually changing the size. The size are relatively the same. The next thing, sometimes you may need to change the outlay or the outlook of your VS Code. To do that, you have got the settings, and then if you click on the setting, you should have the color theme. Or, so in my case, I've got the themes and then color theme. So if you do that, it asks you which color theme do you want. Personally, I like the dark mode. Or sometimes you can change that to a different one. Let me change it to a different one. Let me change it to red. You can see, which is horrible. I don't like it. Let me change another one. Light. This is too bright for the eyes. You can change to dark visual, which is my favorite. No, it's not that one. Dark modern, that's my favorite. So this is the one I prefer. So you can change the colors. And then I think when it comes to now running the code, once you have typed your code, like in my case, I've written print hello mass, then to run the code, you simply, depending on the program, for Python, you just click on this button here, and then it runs your code, and the output will be on the command line. So just give it time, it's gonna run. It's still loading the environment. I think maybe I should have activated it before, but right now it's taking a bit long because it has to activate the environment before it can output the results of the code I've just typed. So that's, you can see it has finished doing that. So let me just clear so that you can see it better. Run again. You can see it is returned. Hello mass. I can do 5 print 5 plus 6, which we expect to be 11. So if I do that, you can see first of all it runs the first code and prints hello mass, and then runs the second code 5 plus 11, and it does that. So this is to do with VS Code. In my subsequent examples, I will be switching between VS Code and Jupyter Notebooks, but I think it's a good idea to think of start switching to VS Code, especially if you're going to upload your videos, or not your video, but your work onto GitHub account. And then when it comes to pure data analysis and maybe writing reports, you can switch to Notebook. And the good thing about VS Code, it allows even to run notebooks from VS Code. So that is something, a plus for the purpose of this video. So again, feel free to like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't to. Until next time, bye-bye.